Hello and welcome, this is Nuclear Rabbit and today I'm going to be playing a Berserker, and as you can tell I'm having a hard time beating Issue. Anyway, in normal I just start off by using Howler points because Howler is a level 1 skill but it's really good. And yeah, we're just using 2 scepters to beat the counters because as usual we're a barbarian, we're gonna need a lot of runes. So we need a tall Eth for stealth, we need a bunch of Tel runes if we can get them. Oh, I found a buckler as well, it's a Belta Lunata, that's a good find. Because the 10 vitality is just 40 life on the shield, like nothing's gonna ever beat that. I also find a Biggin's bonnet over there. And I decided to give it to my mercenary who was wearing a Frost Nova helmet, by the way. Because Frost Nova is really good, like the chance to proc Frost Nova in the early game is so powerful. With that in mind, we go ahead and move along, and I found one of the most important items of the entire run. I end up finding a death sash, and this has one mod called Cannot Be Frozen. It's just a mod that should be on way more ice, like Cannot Be Frozen is so unbelievably rare. But yeah, so Captain Find It All over here is just beating down on Ontario. I mean, I named him Boer Henk, which is Dutch for farm dude, basically. Because I knew that it's a barbarian and we're gonna have to farm a lot. I also find Thesaurus boots, by the way. Like, this is insane. And yeah, all the farming. I should have called him Captain Spoonfed. Because, man, did this guy find some items. Holy crap. But yeah, the basic idea here is we're just gonna pick up our groceries in Act 2. And we are berserking or beating down with a staff, and now we find some gore food as well, and we don't even need them, like what the hell. Anyway, the basic idea is to use Berserk with Howl and just find a really powerful weapon and just beat everything to death with magic damage. And yeah, this is just basically how this fight, like I don't even have Berserk yet, but this is Concentrate, which is just the pre-version of it. So yeah, Durio going down easily, we're just very tanky. And I find some heavy boots, which are insane. Look at these! Double rest and faster run and MF. I also find a superior pike with 3 open sockets, like what the hell. This barbarian found more good items than some of my hell runs, like in Act 3 normal. Also, I bravely look on as my mercenary deals with those dolls. And yeah, just beating down the council. Not the great. So what I do here is just kind of pull them apart. Start beating them down. And I decided to add the council to this video because people have been requesting longer videos. I was like, okay, 10, 12, 15 minutes should be fine, but I've got a bunch of comments asking for longer, so I decided to include the council and some other fights as well. Hope you all enjoy it. Also, we hawk some stuff. This is this build, basically, if you want to Google this is just a Berserker without teleport. That's just what I'm building here. I'll show the builds off and stuff later in the video as well. Anyway, here's Mephisto, that's Mephisto, and now we find Ishwal. And as you can tell, Howl just doing an excellent job of keeping us safe here. Like, we would be beating down way less hard because everything will be backstabbing us and stuff, but Howl's like, yeah, fuck them, get out of here. Howl is really good. Like, I would put Howl, if I did my own mod of the game, because people have been doing that recently. If I was doing my own mod of the game, I would move Howl up to like level 12 or something. It's that powerful, it's so good. Anyway, this is our drops for the Hellforge on normal. And this is just me fighting effect. And as you can tell, it's just the same thing. Howl clears the board, kills the dude, and moving along. Here's the Diablo fight, always just a very hard fight. But we have 631 HP, which is really bonkers actually. And the Merc is staying alive as well, like he's keeping up. But yeah, Battle Orders is a synergy for Berserk, so I'm just maxing out Battle Orders as hard as I can. And yeah, this is also just the Belta Lunata, like it adds 40 life, that's so much. Bye, mercenary. Hi, mercenary. Hi, Diablo. Bye, Diablo. Best drop ever, by the way. Okay, so I end up crafting some gloves, and yeah, those are insane. Life leech, fire resist, and 10% crushing blow. I'll take it. Here are the ancients, and at this point I actually have Berserk. I found some random pike that deals a ton of damage. At this point in the game, when you're a barbarian, like, scepters don't really work anymore. You're kind of just praying for a good weapon, and out the run, you'll see me use like random stuff for a while, like until the end of normal. At least you'll see me use just random stuff. Although the end of normal not that far away. I mean, I'm basically beating down the minions of destruction as we speak, so yeah, I end up getting very lucky and finding two very good weapons, but that's later. I mean, yeah, this character should have been called Captain Spoonfed. Like, I'm serious. It got to the point where I was like, man, this doesn't even feel like a solo self-found character anymore. It's so insane. Anyway, Bale, as usual, just fast forwarding really hard because he has a ton of HP. And there he goes. So I end up finding a 4-socket partisan in the counters. And we all know what that means. I also find some stuff. So time for a respec into the partisan and the polearm. And this is fast forwarded because this is how long that polearm lasts me. This is the actual same game as me respecing. And you can also just see some general gameplay like this, which is pretty cool. I should add more of that, I like that. And we find a bone snap. So back to the respec. I'm not kidding, I respec twice in like 4 minutes. So I put a hell rune in there because I figured that this would be my final weapon for the game. And I would end up making it an ogre maul. And an ogre maul needs 225 strength, but with a hell rune it needs 185 strength, which saves you 40. And 40 strength saved. I also make it a war club now, which is insane damage. Anyway, 40 strength saved makes it so that you get 40 vitality more. 40, that's 160 life before bow. It basically ends up adding like 350 to 400-ish life depending on your bow level. So I find a splint mail, which is a berserker armor. It's just nice. It's a +1 skill armor. It's nice. I use a lore as well as usual, and I end up making a myth, a hell nef, so +2 skills. Nothing that special for the rest. And I end up making a gemmed gothic blade with 72 MF for some farming, because we're gonna do a lot of that. Find a soul rune. And this is just nice to see, you know. I never hit. I also find a go rune in nightmare counters. And I find a cask as well. So that's a steel skull, which is actually not that great for this build. The Berserk doesn't work with life leeches. So I basically found a 10 IAS 38 MF helm, which is still really good, but I actually end up taking the lore and giving my mercenary the steel skull. Until I go farming. Then things are different. So that's Andariel, and this is basically how I walk through the game, like howl, 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 and a neck boss that I can't skip. I had a pretty fast playthrough with this. Like, I did a ton of farming. I did like 10-12 hours of farming, which is more than some of the caster playthroughs I've did, but it's a melee build. You're gonna farm. Like, that's you're not farming with a melee build in this game. It's not happening. But you can just haul everything away and walk along. So yeah, this is me fighting the Travancore Council on Nightmare, and it's fine. Like, look at the damage. I don't hit a lot because my attack rating is really bad. I would totally change attack rating, by the way, if I was in command of the game. But when I hit really hard. Like, little. I mean, whiff, kill, whiff, kill, whiff, kill. It's so nice, just kill. I mean, seriously, I ended up in the end going into Dex with this build, even though the Barbarian doesn't need it for the maul. But my attack rating was just that bad. I also end up upgrading my Death's Guard, so now I have 4 slots in my belt, which is really nice. And you can just see when I hit Mephisto, like whiff, clutch. And whiff, bam. Whiff, bam. Like, you're just chunking like 1-2 letters at a time. It's insane. Also insane drop. I end up crafting a ring as well. So basically this is a 114 AR, 2 strength and 13 life. Like the life leech and mana leech does not work for Berserk. And yeah, just howling stuff away while I beat down on Israel. Yeah, Howl is so good. Like, I'm always... I've used a bunch of characters with Howl before, but Howl impresses me just every single time. I find a ballroom out of the Hellforge, which is great, because now I don't have to farm for one from the counters on Hell. Otherwise I would have to farm for a ballroom in Hell. So I'm very happy with that Hellforge drop. Basically I always want to find Ball or Lem. Like Lem runes, I could find like 5 Lem runes in a run and I'd still be very happy. You never have enough Lem runes. This is the Amulet Diablo drops. It's 7 resist all with some lightning resist. I end up making a new MF helm as well. And then we go back to the farming. So here's Trash Socket, who drops a swirling crystal, which is an Oculus. So yeah, that's one of the best sorcerer's weapons in the game. So I can't wait to find an Ariats when I'm playing a sorceress. And here are the ancients. Just look at that. Chonk, chonk, chonk. It's so fun. This build also, even though you're going down to 0 defense, this build is way safer than you'd think. Like, this is very good. Also, it's the best MFer in the game. So if you want an MF character and you're done with sources, because sources farm Mephisto and stuff really fast, but if you want to run a Grail, play a Berserker. If you want to do it on only one character, I mean, like, you can use your whole account. I did. There's no way I'm doing a Grail on one character, fuck that. Oh, here's Bale. And as you can tell, attack rating is really bad, like whiff, but when I hit, it's so good. But yeah, there's just a big step between Nightmare and Hell, and with almost every single melee build you're gonna have to farm. So after this Bale fight, there's gonna be a lot of I did like 12 hours of farming after Bale Nightmare before I really went into Hell. Like, I did some pit runs, I did some counter runs, I did a lot of counters. I did like 3.5, 4 hours of counters because I needed one rune and it just would not drop. And what else? I found more Bale. Like, I hung out in Nightmare, but I started off with Mephisto Nightmare because Mephisto Nightmare is just a pretty easy kill and he can drop quite some cool stuff. So I found a Battle Sword, which is a head strike, and at this point I was like, maybe I want to use this over the Bone Snap. And I was like, I don't know, Bone Snap's really cool. But then I found another Bone Snap, so an Ethereal Bone Snap, which is really cool. Like, I would have loved to use it for a while. But I end up just hitting the absolute jaw, like Captain Spoonfat at it again. So I end up finding a Cleaver, and I am respected for this Cleaver. Butcher's Pupil is like a mini Grief. This weapon is so good. Just IAS, adds damage, Deadly Strike, open with the... If you're playing a melee character and you find a Butcher's Pupil, use it. It's just that good. So here's my build. As you can tell, pretty standard Berserker stuff. And the Butcher's Pupil also gives me the slot to use a shield, so now I don't need to use my belt anymore, so I can use a better belt and I can use a shield at a rhyme for for Cannot Be Frozen. And so with that I head to the counters to drop something, and I kill her some more. So I found an Ist rune, and then I found a Lem rune. Now I can make Lem Ist EO, but I will never in a million years make that rune work because turning into a doll is so bad. So I end up making a Treachery, and now I just have Fate, and at this point the game feels like whatever, but I want a Lum rune so I can upgrade my weapon. So after 3.5 hours of farming counters, here we go, a small Kreskin Butcher's Pupil, and yeah, this weapon is wow. Like, nothing is stopping this. It hits really fast, it has open wounds. Because it requires a bunch of attacks, I'm actually hitting stuff now as well, which is great. I mean, look at me chunking. And at this point, I'm just howling and walking towards the end of the game, so... Also almost have 3k HP. But yeah, just look at him go. Like, I'm faded, I have a bunch of damage reduction, I'm berserking, I have a ton of damage, my attack rating is good. And I also find a Blackhorn's face, because I wasn't like Captain Spoonfed enough. So Blackhorn's face is an insane helm. It's lightning absorb is just any absorb, but especially lightning is so important if you can get it, because souls exist. And yeah, that's just the whole reason. And it also has slow, so it stops act bosses and stuff, and you can just tell things are running around slow, which makes it easier to hit them. And easier to hit means more kills, means more loot. I love that helmet so much, it's so good. Anyway, that's the console. As you can tell, this character is just built to farm at this point. And here, look at this, it's Mephisto, and I'm just... yeah, just standing there, I don't care anymore. Like, I have max resist, I have damage reduction. Nothing is stopping this character. So yeah, I walk into the Plains of Despair, only to be immediately greeted by Israel, and just look at how fast I'm killing him, it's great. Like, look at that, just bye. This as well, I know this is fast forward, but even then, this is still really fast. I just have so much damage at this point. And Captain Spoonfed is still not done. I find another Lemron, and I just don't even need it anymore. So we're ringing Diablo's doorbells, and his butlers opened the door. Also, that Colossus Forge is ethereal, and I ended up making a mercenary weapon out of it. And yeah, just howl and kill the main thing. Like, this is just a Berserker. I don't have teleport, but for the rest, this is just a Berserker. I ran a bunch of bits with him as well for level, so I have some better attack rating and stuff, but I found nothing. I did like 3-4 hours of bits and I dropped actual nothing. So yeah, that's Diablo on hell, and yeah, just look at this, just beating him down very easily. And I find laying of hands as well, because if you thought Captain Spoonfed was done, he wasn't. So now I have laying of hands as well, which is 350% enhanced damage to demons and IAS, and just look at him go. I mean, I know these aren't demons, but who cares at this point? Like, I'm 3-on-1ing the Ages, I'm just standing there and kicking their ass. Yeah, this is not the safest build. Like, if you want to go 100% safe, don't play this, but it's really good. Like, look at me just chunking those minions, like, oh man. Makes me all hot and bothered. Yeah, just look at him go, like, that's some serious chunk that he has. I mean, Lister, who cares? Bam, here you go, eat axe. And here is Bale on hell, and at this point you already realize I'm gonna get there. So let's just look at the fight, and yeah, the main thing is, if you want to play like this, you're gonna have to farm for a weapon, there's no denying it, you need a weapon. I mean, I hit the absolute jackpot in a Butcher's Pupil, but you can absolutely use like a head striker. A Ginter's Rift could do it. And maybe you get really lucky and find like a lightsaber or something, that's also a really sweet weapon. But then you're really talking high-end unique. Like, if you want to use a mid-level unique, you can just use... Let's see, Witch's Pupil is the best one for sure, but Head Striker would do it. You can also just use a 6-rocket shield, crystal sword, and like a ton of crushing blow, that would also work. That's right. Also, this is my equipment, so as you can tell, this equipment is insane. Like, the ring's okay, but the rest of this is all very, very good. yeah, you can improve this character a lot as you can tell. Like, this is definitely not a final build or anything, but for a solo self-found run, this was insane. Like, the drops never stopped. There you go, that's the build. And this is the mercenary. Yeah, that's the Colossus Forge that I talked about. I end up making an Elom fall for mercenary, and that's the Steel Squad I found. So we have another Guardian to the roster. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one.